following live stream may include adult language and themes. How can we know for sure? Hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tabletop Turntable, Track 5. We're spinning the track with a new game master. I'm Steve, the Dragon X everywhere. I'm joined by Michael, Maggie, Kay, James, and Neassa. I am going to be running The Crypt Has Opened by When Suddenly Games and my good friend Jeffrey N. Baker, who created it. Welcome.
Thanks for giving us the okay to make this, Jeff. We're really excited.
Why don't we start with everyone saying who they are and naming and telling everyone who their character is and a little bit about their character.
Okay.
We go alphabetical?
Sure.
We can, which if we go in the credit order is alphabetical by last name, that's me. Even though Alice is my last name, it's my middle name. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm Meg. I'm Margaret Alice, but my friends call me Meg, so you can too. For this track, I'm going to be playing Adame McTavish. She's a 20-something hedge mage, so she does a lot of baking and a lot of tea brewing. She's good with tonics and herbs and things like that. And she's related to Aunt Betsy McTavish on the council, who's one of the town elders. Is that good? Is that good?
Perfect. Who's next in alphabetical order?
James.
Am I coming through?
Yeah.
I think there's
Who's
a
next in
delay.
alphabetical order?
James.
James.
It's me?
Yes. Downey.
Oh, okay.
There's some
Hi.
lag.
I'm James. I'm playing a character named Moses Grimsley. Moses Grimsley is, if you think of Quint from Jaws, it's that, but deeply southern and really into spirits instead of sharks. We're gonna go into their dead zones and kick open some doors and call upon the spirits of my kin to find a way to keep this town safe from evil spirits. They're gonna hear about cryptids, but don't worry about them monsters. It's ghosts and other spookies they really gotta be worried about. Yeah, that's Moses.
All right.
I believe.
It's me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, hi, I'm Skipper. G'day. I am of the proud tradition of the Crypt Scouts. You know, what's our classic saying? Doing what we can to help out in these trying times that have been trying for like 70 years. But I specialize in healing, so please don't get hurt, because I don't want to do that.
It's okay, I dabble.
New in town. I don't know any of these fucking people. This is my first time out of the Covenant.
How old are you, honey?
Are we not supposed to cuss?
Oh, no. That's
I'm
totally
19.
Fine. Oh, 19. Okay. Oh, sweetheart. Welcome. Kay is next. Wait, no, Michael is next, and then Kay.
everybody. I'm Michael. I'll be playing Arcadia Mordecai, Ace to his friends, Morty to his enemies. Mordecai or Ace is a trainer, which means he's good with them there cryptids. And I inherited that gift from my grandpappy. He had a way with them boogabutts, as we would often call them. But really, once you get to know them, they ain't so bad. You scratch them in the right place, and they'll be your friend for days. That's about the size of Arcadia.
And I believe Kay is the last one to go.
Hey guys, I'm Kay. I will be playing Archie Dosk, he, and he likes to solve problems with shoot first, die first, hopefully, think later. Sometimes we think in the middle, but we do try to kill it first.
I want that on a t-shirt. Sometimes we think in the middle.
We try to think in the middle. All right, we join our practitioners in the town of Georgebamassee, shortly or affectionately by everyone there called Georgebama. They are in the worst possible they're in the worst possible location ever. They are literally at the tri-state mark of Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. There's actually a plaque there in our real world that they've just built their town around. To the north and westish of them are the Dead Spaces. They are the last civilization before the Dead Spaces, and directly to their east are the Ghost Wilds, which are the Appalachian Mountains, which are the most dangerous place in the world. So, and they have no defense in their town, so this is gonna get real interesting really fast. For anyone watching who doesn't know, the Crypt Has Opened is a imposition die system. What that means is that you have 3 dice anytime you make a roll. You're going to have, if you're casting magic, your spell die, which is essentially your level, your path die, which is the type of magic that you are trying to cast, and you can discussion about that, though. If you don't like the imposition that I set forth or disagree with it, we can have that discussion. But essentially, you roll your 2 dice against the imposition. If your 2 dice are higher than the rolled die on the imposition, you succeed. If one of those dice is higher, one is not, you succeed, but there's a consequence. And if you roll below the imposition on both, it is just a pure consequence, aka a failure. If you roll the highest possible number on your imposition and the lowest possible numbers on the other 2, that is called a bogus failure, meaning severe consequences. And on the flip side, if you roll the 2 highest on your 2 dice and the lowest possible on the imposition, that is called a wicked win, meaning really good things happen. So we're going to pick up with the 5 of you in town. What currently are the 5 of you doing before you are approached by one of the members of the council?
Probably running my little bookstore.
Arcadia is.
Sorry, there's a delay. Yeah.
Arcadia is. Oh my goodness.
Is it me that's delaying, or?
No, it's Meg. Arcadia is working to take the labels off of old chicken shine bottles.
Okay.
His reasons are his own.
Fair enough. Also, in this town, their biggest export is chicken shine, which is supposed to be alcohol, but everybody else in the world uses it as fuel for vehicles, generators, to start a fire.
They're missing out.
Paint thinner.
They're missing out.
But
It's a
anyway,
flavor experience.
Whatever you guys are doing, Skipper is just kind of awkwardly hovering because was once again new in town and is trying to find a way to insert himself into conversation, but is not. It's strange to be that guy.
I would think Moses is sitting in a rocking chair on a front stoop, muttering to himself. He's got a pipe, corncob pipe, just spirits.
Archie's posted up against the Georgebamassee arch, just going through rocks on the ground with chicken shine in the fanciest glass they could find, which was in fact a broken mason jar.
Yes.
beautiful. Right. What were you doing, Maggie?
Ida
Meg?
May is her little bookshop.
There's a real delay there,
There's
isn't there?
Yes,
Mhm.
it's huge, and I don't know how to fix it. Ida May is running things in her little bookshop tea house, where she'll make you the best cup of tea you never knew you needed.
Hmm? Are we having technical difficulties in the first 5 minutes?
That would not be unprecedented.
So it would be precedented.
I mean, everybody froze for just a minute. Everybody froze there for a minute.
I think-
At least for me.
Yeah.
Were they really...
Michael, I think yours might be a little bit bugged too, because y'all were fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you, I don't know. Do we want to try something before we get too far, or?
We can go to the UI back screen and fiddle around and see what I can figure out.
Okay. Hold on, everyone. We shall return momentarily for technical
Don't
difficulties.
go nowhere.
Don't go nowhere. Jeffrey, stay put.
we're gonna see what happens. We didn't really do anything to fix it, but the problem seemed to fix itself. We hope.
Knock on wood.
So everybody keep all your fingers and toes crossed and cast your magic spell die.
Yeah, basically the track was skipping, so we had to reset it. Now we're back, and we're gonna see how this goes.
That was
so
a great analogy, Steve. Thank you.
You get a gold star.
We switched over to 8-track format. And hopefully this will be better.
It is the 90s now, after all.
Of course. So, as I was saying, you all are doing your various things when you all get together for whatever reason to drink some shine or something. Weevil Sutton, a member of the Elders, comes towards you. Weevil is a rather rotund man wearing suspenders, a beautiful, not dirty at all, white suit with one of those big 10-gallon hats. Well, we could use the help of some of y'all, if you don't mind.
Well, of course, Weevil. What you need?
Well, you see, we got some issues, and we were hoping that you could take care of one of them for us. Well, it was.
wants to take care of one of them. I'll take. We can do one.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. I had needs to take care of one of them. Now, Gertrude let us know that some of her chickens was taken care of, and they were found dead.
Oh my.
We need someone to figure out what got in and what kind of killed them. We also have had an increase of big feet attacks lately, and we kind of need that situated. And the big one, our last shipment of chicken shine was never made it to the town it's supposed to. So we're thinking it got waylaid somewhere, and we'd like some people to go out and figure out what happened. I was wondering if you all...
I'll definitely go looking for that there chicken shine.
I'll help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where was it being sent?
All right, so y'all are gonna... What was that?
Where
These
is
seem
it
to be
being
problems
sent?
of-
Well, it was being sent to Pigeon Forge. I know we don't like them very
Pigeon
much,
Forge.
but they
Are you
paid
sure
for
they
it. and-
didn't just claim it went missing so they wouldn't have to pay for it?
Well,
They are a bunch of lying sons of bitches.
Well, I thought the same thing, but when the people that was delivering it never came back neither, we kind of got suspicious.
Oh.
Deserters. Fleeing to Pigeon Forge.
Well, if it's murder we're talking about, that's a horse of a different color.
Well, if it happened to be Pigeon Forge, I need you to not cause a diplomatic situation. And if it didn't happen to be Pigeon Forge, and it was one of them creepy crawlies in the woods, I need you to take care of it and bring us the shine back, or deliver it back to Pigeon Forge, whichever you can find a way to do.
All right, sir. What kind of resources we gonna have at our disposal?
Well, you got your typical travel packs, everything you need, whatever preparated magics you want to put forth too. Whatever you want to take, actually. So here's a good thing to note. On the character sheets, if you go to... That's the wrong page. If you go to your second page of your character sheet, you will see equipment. There is town equipment, meaning basically the stuff you have in town. There's your excursion equipment, meaning the stuff you're going to go if you're going to go out for like a day or two. And then there's your traveling equipment, meaning the stuff you'd typically take if you were going to go for a couple days or more out into the wilds or the wilderness. Most of them have a checkbox beside them to let you know that you've used them if you've used them. Items that are italicized mean you can reuse them. items that are not italicized mean there's one-time use. They're a one-time use thing.
Eh,
So,
I'm sorry. Did
if
you
you
say
guys
this
are going
is
out for a few-
page on the character sheet?
It's the
yeah, it
second
should be the
page.
second page.
I got a
Uh,
one-use sleeping
Yep.
bag.
Yeah,
Mine's missing it too. Hold on.
Yeah.
My equipment
Mine
page
just
just
says
says
equipment,
hands,
hands.
backpack, and notes.
I'm pulling up the other ones real quick.
Oh,
I see.
Should look something like that.
You were a hedge mage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it
Okay.
on in the PDF?
yeah, it should be in
I-
that file that I sent.
It's
In the
those
chat.
aren't updated sheets. So I'm pulling the other sheets that I have access to real quick.
Ooh, fancy.
You're a hedge mage, Margaret.
I got the hedge mage. If you get the other one,
Yeah, I'll just slap it in the chat.
I mean,
Yeah, me
mine's
too.
also blank. So
I had that one ready
I
to
just
go.
took a
'Cause
screen.
That's what.
I just took a
Formal May
screen.
was.
oh, I just took a screenshot of hedge mage.
That is okay. I'm gonna just have my character sheet up, or like the sheet from the book. I mean,
Okay.
Okay, great.
Is everybody good now?
Yeah.
10-4, good buddy.
I
Alright.
still don't have my stuff. I have the blank equipment thing too. So
Oh,
someone can-
Oh, what are you?
Crypt Hunter.
Okay, I got it.
Should we tell a little bit about the tropes that we picked?
I mean, yeah, if you guys want to, real quick, go for it. While we're getting this all squared away.
I mean, what else is there? Backpack. I've got what you need in terms of just healing, not other things.
Cool. Thank you.
Trainers are kind of like Pokemon hunters.
The old
A little
Pokemon
bit.
hunter.
A little bit. Ah, yes, the Pokemon of yore.
I don't know about that. What year is it? Time sort of stopped in what, 95, 96?
Yep, like I said, the Pokemon of yore.
Yeah, typically, if it was in the 90s at any point, we kind of say it was there. Like, in the one game I was in, we had a Godzilla hat from that Godzilla movie that wasn't
Beautiful.
Godzilla. So,
The Godzilla movies of yore.
Well, a hedge mage, the book reads, the smell of strong tea, the sound of a bubbling cauldron, and the crumble of a tasty treat. A true magic for a hedge mage. So that's basically me. Masters of poultry, potions, and poultices. That was hard to say.
That was hard to say.
Herbs and tinctures.
The Crypt Hunter is the kind of person that runs off into the scary spaces looking for crypt doors. Go ahead, Michael.
I had a question for you when you're done.
Okay. They run towards danger as opposed to away from it. Go ahead.
Crypt Hunter now, do you eat all of the crypt after you kill it?
Well,
You're not just a trophy Crypt Hunter now.
I know
correct?
you're big into them cryptids, but I deal not in the realm of the physical, but the metaphysical.
All right, you keep telling me that. I just can't remember.
what's a metaphysics is a physical?
That's right. You got it.
I'm
Nailed
sure
it.
I could pull you a book on the subject.
I don't know if I can read.
Great point. Here, have some tea.
Thank you.
Mr. Ace, I don't know if you're interested, but there are many different kinds of moss that you can eat that grow on crypts. A lot of people say that they are cursed, though, so I don't know if that's something that would worry you.
Oh, no, I ain't much bothered by curses and hexes and such. I would love to hear about your moss vittles.
Okay, well, I mean, I have several. I can lend you this. I have several different kinds of moss that could grow depending on what area you're in.
Well, thank you
Remember.
kindly, young man.
I love
Only
this.
champagne moss if it comes from the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it's just sparkling moss.
Otherwise, it's just sparkling lichen.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man with a big hat who I haven't met before.
Yeah.
I'm not part of this town, but I would very much appreciate helping you guys out in finding your lost chicken shine. I've heard is the local delicacy.
Oh, ain't nothing delicate about it now.
Well, so you're with one of them there them scouts that come in, aren't you?
Yeah, we came to try to help you with your Bigfoot problem.
We do have a problem with big feet.
Well, I mean, particularly we
And
came to
Bigfoot.
help with it. We can help with, but
Well-
we're good at traps sometimes.
Y'all sure ain't doing a good job. We just had 2 more attacks last night. We
Who-
put
I
up
mean-
the signs that said "Don't feed the big feet," and nobody's listening. They keep feeding them.
Nobody reads them.
Well, I mean, I know some of the other scoutmasters have been working on making. They've been debating what kind of pictorial sign might convey not feeding the Bigfoots.
I can
might
tell
help.
folks if they don't show up at the school board meetings, we're never going to get the right curriculum in place.
Moses takes a big, long puff on his pipe and just says, I know the answer to your Bigfoot problem. Big shoes.
Oh my god, you're fired!
Just deadly serious. This is not a joke.
Well,
You know
well,
what? I don't think you've tried that.
Weevil takes it as a joke. He has one of them deep belly laughs. It's like, yeah, that's a good joke there, son. Yeah, if you want to help out, I mean, you seem to be friends with them, so if you want to go out that way, have at it. They just follow the road like normal, and it'll get you to Pigeon Forge. You know that. You've been there once, I think.
Technically on my way in here, yes.
Well, I was talking to Ace.
Oh, sorry, I'm just kind of standing in the way of you two.
Oh, right. Yeah. Fuck those guys, but I'll go.
Yeah,
Well,
just
we gotta go beat them at their own game. You know they cheat every year at the festival. We gotta
This is
go
true.
do something.
Aunt Betsy
if I
won't like
see
it
any of
none,
them-
but I'll go.
If I see any of them forged pigeons, however, I am out of there.
forged pigeon. Yeah, them forged pigeons is unsettling. You think?
It really is.
I mean, our town's called Georgebama, and we don't put forged Georgebamas up.
Yeah, we can't afford that.
Is that right?
We can
What's
afford
it? I bet-
Bamas, we just can't afford to George them.
I met
Right.
several
Yeah.
men named Bama. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
No, those are real.
I guess there's more than 4 of them, so. And there was no George
Can't
Bama.
Shine a metal chicken. Well, I suppose actually you could shine it, but you can't turn it into shine. Hear what I'm saying?
Weevil, I got a question. Where were these here latest Bigfoot attacks?
Well, they're up at that old campsite by the river. We keep telling people not go up in that campsite. It's not protected, and we don't got a lot of practitioners up there. But they want the ambience of it, and they want to hear the water trickling and all that. And you know, you go up there and you find a couple injured with a bunch of Bigfoots around. You know it's a Bigfoot. Luckily, the sea monster ain't been around lately, so that's been a plus.
Oh, good. I have been wanting to get another sight of it, though. I'm just about done with my sketch, my rendering.
I imagine it just looks like the Loch Ness monster, just like
It's very
Well,
your
we're like
grainy.
that
sketch is lit.
Like
Yeah.
a chicken head.
Yeah.
And a little
Do
Definitely
we
gotta
have-
be.
Do we have a map of the area? Is that something that we?
Speak of the devil.
You,
I don't mean like literally, but I mean like is that something that we would have character-wise?
so you would have what is like the equivalent of a crudely drawn like somebody drawing their own D&D map, really, because you don't really have cartographers. Like, you're just.
Excuse me.
Oh, do you have cartographers?
Yes,
Wait,
Moses spent one of his very important skill points on
That is-
cartography.
I
Truly
stand corrected.
excellent
Moses
moment.
has the only good map. Everything
and in
else is
fact-
kind of like.
In fact, the Crypt Hunter has an old map as one of their pieces of equipment. So
There you
I love it.
go.
Oh.
Yeah.
The game swoops in.
Weevil came here to ask Moses for help and was like, it's going to be Moses and then whoever the 4 people who are standing closest to Moses.
Oh boy, how lucky for me.
I personally like it because this pipe smoke smells real nice.
thank you. One of the finest. Growing in
Well,
my
yeah.
backyard.
Whatever y'all need at your disposal, let me know. I'm gonna be around town hall. You know, friggin' mayor has the key. We still can't get that fucking key off him.
Oh no. Listen, the mayor is just the mayor, and we just kind of have to leave him alone and not count. But his vote doesn't count, you know? Like, we know we have wild ideas, but he's a whole other problem.
Young man, this might sound confusing, seeing as mayor is the title of an elected official. However, the mayor is his name. He is not.
The is his first name, mayor is his last.
And he's holding the keys to the city hall hostage, so he comes to every meeting.
Well, to
Okay,
be fair, he was here before the council was formed, and it was his house.
And he'll
when we
be here
said we-
long after it's extinct.
Probably. He seems to be weaselly like that.
He's
Even
well
Anyway.
preserved.
His middle name is Georgebamassee.
The Georgebamasee mayor.
There's very little blood in his
Georgebamassee
hands.
mayor.
He's thought about this from every angle.
All right, so you guys have fun. Let me know what you find out, and don't die out there. You're our biggest practitioners, and I would hate to lose you. So
Question.
yeah,
We can't die, but I can kill other things, correct?
as long as it ain't people.
What if there's
As
a
long
fusion
as-
forge?
What
I
if
about to
they're
say-
like murderers?
Well,
What if they try to kill me first?
Everyone,
Then yes,
just-
you can.
What
I
what
feel-
happens
Thank
in
you,
the
that's
like
all I-
these are. I feel
All I
like
needed
these
was
are.
a yes, thank you.
I feel like these are basic questions.
Yes, but
Of
Mr.
course, in
Ace,
self-defense.
there are no
We don't-
laws out in the woods. It's just how it happens between you and another man and nature.
We don't need permission from this.
I know all y'all got my back. However, I feel like it could go south, okay?
Plus,
Listen, Pigeon
the
Forge
law
had-
ain't got nothing on small town rumor.
Pigeon Forge is north.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it is. We do have to go north. However, not that north in my mind. You know?
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm already holding everything I need. I never unpacked when I arrived, so I'm just gonna go to the edge of town, and you guys can, whatever happens, happens.
Oh,
Listen,
I
it's
go
dangerous for a
walkabout.
youngin' like you. Come on. You gotta wait for us.
I go walk about now and again. I'll go grab my excursion pack. I'll meet you over there.
All right.
So,
Skipper waits on the edge of town, like one of those.
Meg,
Yes,
do you have preparations by chance?
I do.
It's entirely up to you. But
Mhm.
before you go on an excursion, you could potentially try to prepare some stuff. Looking at the preparation type of magics, making edible goods that boost magical abilities.
Yes, please.
You could make cookies cookies or tea that it gives you magical defenses or physical defenses or whatever your imagination is. If you want to brew some up before you go, whatever your aptitude, which is the dots,
Mhm.
that's how many days they are good. So
Oh,
if you have
okay.
2 dots, you can prep something and it'll be good for 2 days.
I have 3 because I
Ooh,
decided to
okay.
specialize. So, yes, I will make some cookies and some bark skin tea for armor purposes. I'll think of how many
Question
can
real
I
quick.
make?
It really. What was that, Kay?
Can't we not have more than 2 to begin with? 2 aptitude points?
That is correct. Yes.
My
I
bad.
forgot about that. That's okay. You just have to
You're
move
good.
one of them somewhere else.
That's fine. I'll move it into war.
I don't know how I missed that in the session 0 or when
Well,
she
you
was
didn't
saying it right now.
You might have missed earlier before we went live when we were talking about our changes not getting saved on our PDFs from session 0. So I had to rebuild it, and I forgot all the rules. I tried my best to
Oh,
reference
that's
the
fine.
book, but I forgot.
It happens.
Perfect. But yes. So the way preparations works is depending upon what level of protection you want to make them. So if you want to like make tea of bark skin,
Yep.
you can choose, does it protect a minor wound, a medium wound, a maximum wound, a major wound. And I set the imposition for you to roll against based on that.
Okay.
And it takes a little bit of time to do that. So like narratively speaking, it would take you a little bit longer per. We discussed that together.
Okay.
But
So the goal is to assemble some tea packets that could be steeped on the road as necessary. And then I want the cookies. So can I make a batch of tea bags and a batch of cookies? Whatever batch ends up meaning.
I mean, you could just get a really big thermos and carry it with you, picnic
That's
style.
true.
So, yeah, with the cookies, I'm gonna say that's gonna take about 45 minutes because you're literally baking the cookies with the
Right.
magic into them.
True.
If you had, so what you would do is you would just say you're gonna bake the batter, you're gonna cast the magic into it, you're gonna lay them out, you're gonna bake them for 45 minutes. While that is going, because the magic is already cast on them, you could start making the tea, but you're going to need 2 separate rolls for that. And what did you want the cookies to do?
Maybe, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is there something specific that would be helpful? It's just another, like, armor type thing in addition to the bark skin, or health regeneration, maybe?
Health is always useful.
You could make healing cookies.
Let's make healing
But like
cookies.
but
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
sorry, I just saw Jeffrey's comment and I thought it was like weird. So I'm like, I started laughing. But so the healing cookies, how much do you want them to heal? If they heal a minor wound, that's just going to be a D6.
Okay.
If you want it to be a medium wound, it's going to be I'm going to say a D10.
Okay.
And a major wound, because that is the most extensive wound, it would be a D12 imposition. But if you do make the major wound cookies, it can heal the lower levels as well. So like 1 major wound is the equivalent of 2 mediums or 3 minors.
Okay.
A medium is the equivalent of, I believe it's 2 minors. 2 minors equal a medium.
Yeah, that's what it looks
But-
like on here.
Yeah. So it's whatever you set your own difficulty for this. What level of healing do you want these cookies to make? And I'm going to say you can make exactly 5 of them, 1 per person.
Okay. Well, then I'd like to go with what die was a medium going to be again? I'd like them to be emergency cookies, so it'd be awesome if I could make major ones, but I don't know if I'm skilled enough for that yet.
Well, the thing is, you can always try.
Okay. Yeah, but what
So
if it's...
majors are the D12. So what would happen here is if you fail, the consequence is the cookies burn, they are no good.
Oh, okay.
If
yeah,
it's
we
a
just don't get to
success
take
with
them.
a consequence, I'm going to bank that consequence and use it later. You're not going to know what it is, but you're
Right,
going to have the
because
healing
somebody
cookies.
eats
I
it.
mean,
I just
wouldn't
don't
it,
want
I would
somebody
prefer.
to eat it and end up getting like a bad side effect. My folk die as a D8. I'd be
So
going
And
if-
then
against
you
the
have two
D12.
aptitudes, so that would actually bring you down to a D8 imposition.
Yes.
Oh
'cause
boy.
you have-
Okay.
So
D8
you'd
versus
be-
D8. Just make sure you decide which one's which before you roll it.
When you
which
roll
is the
multiple dice.
imposition.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't be like, you can't roll 2 and be like, ah, yes, the imposition die was the one that rolled bad, and the one that's for me is the one that rolled good.
Oh, I see.
So
I mean, just normal.
So for the cookies, we could do it to a D8, which means you would lower it to a D4. If you do the D12, you'll lower it to a D8.
Okay.
So it's up to you entirely.
Let's give it a shot. Why not? I'm ambitious.
Okay.
So what do I need to roll? A D8, two
Uh,
D8s,
Two,
So
two
whatever your
D8s
spell
and
die
a
is.
D6.
Yep.
and then what? That is a detail that I missed. How do I figure what my spell die is? Don't we all start
It's a
at
D6.
It's at top. We're all at a D6.
Yeah, everybody starts at a D6.
I see where it is on the sheet. It didn't have a checkbox mark, so I forgot which one it was. Oh boy. Okay, so I have to get a 6 on that one, or it's gonna be mixed. We're gonna give it a shot. It's fine. Well, that was partially successful.
All right. So
my
the-
spell
after-
die, in case you needed to know, was a 1. Whoa.
oof.
My imposition die was a 5, and my path die was an 8, a D8.
Ooh.
All right. Perfect. So, after 45 minutes, you'll pull those out. They will smell and look delicious. They will do exactly what you want. Now, for the tea that you wanted to make, what you were trying to make them like a defense to make you a little
Yeah.
more sturdy?
Yeah.
What level? So, once again, you're setting your own imposition here. If you want them to be able to block damage from a D12 cryptid or spirit or whatever for warding, you would have to roll that D12. If you want them to be a D8, it's a D8. It's all entirely up to you. And remember, your aptitude does lower that by 2 ticks.
Right. Okay, so let's say I want it to be a D8, then my imposition die moves down to a D4.
Yes.
That one.
Okay.
Okay. And I still roll my D6 and my D8 as my other 2 die. Okay.
Yes.
I'm getting the hang of this. Beautiful! That is a 4 and a 5 over 3.
All right. Your tea bags, you are able to brew this tea. I'm going to say you have it in a nice little thermos. And you can share that amongst people. You can give out, once again, up to 5 times. So these preparations will last for 2 days because you have 2 pips in your aptitude. And 45 minutes later, you come to the rest of the group. Are the rest of you doing anything in that time while Meg is prepping? Yes, Kay.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering if you, since this is teaching game, did you want to explain how Meg was able to roll lower and stuff? Or I can explain it. I got fully what happened if you want me to.
Sure, because I'm not sure what you're saying.
Since we're like teaching the game, kind of.
Yes.
Like just kind of go about how those roles worked.
Sure.
So Steven set the imposition. Oh, sorry, let me back up. Meg wanted to make a major wound healing potion. So Steven set that imposition at a D12 because Meg has 2 pips under what was it? Preparation. You get to move your dice imposition down by that many pips, so it went from a D12 to a D10 to a D8.
And you roll had me bacon by the time I was 4.
Those are way around the kitchen. So that moved down to an imposition die of a D8 versus all of our spell dies right now are a D6, which is how good we are at magic. And then, what is it? Folk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is where preparation is.
Preparation is under the category of folk, and Meg allocated points to that, so her die is a D8.
All right.
Thanks, Meg.
If Ace is out there with me, then I'm going to be talking Ace's ear off and being like, "This is the patch I got for home dentistry."
James, you said you were wanting to do something?
Well, I also have points in preparations.
Of course you do.
Okay. What would you like to do? So, I have a mist dowsing rod, which I'd like to think is also Moses's walking staff.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to maybe, like, if I can do this, sort of enchant that rod to be better at cleansing areas of spirits.
Hold on. I gotta get my notes on enchantment. So that would not be preparation. That would be enchantment.
Okay, so I don't have that. So preparations is just like baking stuff.
It's basically setting something up to be useful later. If you want to empower something, that is enchantment, which would be under ceremonial.
If you wanted to make some pretzels that made someone better at cleansing ghosts, then hell yeah.
I have a question. Would making like Molotov cocktails be like preparation?
Are you creating magical Molotov cocktails or
no? We have moonshine all over the fucking place.
Well, that's just gathering moonshine. If you wanted
that's physical.
You could
like a mundane skill.
Yeah, that would be a mundane skill. If you have an applicable skill, go for it.
You could prepare magical.
What do you think I was taking the labels off for?
Of course.
Toilet shine.
Okay, so mundane skills are a little different. Your human die is always a D4. It never goes up, never goes down. D4 for the human die. So one of your dice you're rolling for a mundane skill is always a D4. The other die that you roll is whatever skill you are trying to do, mental, physical, or social, which I think whatever it is for you, it can only go up to a D8. And then if you have something underneath it with pips in it, you can lower the imposition. I'm going to say to make Molotov cocktails, because you have chicken shine that is super flammable and explosive, is going to be a D4. Like, the consequences of this are going to be rather minor, but we'll see what happens. So if you want to make one or two in that 45 minutes, roll some dice and let me know what you get.
I don't have preparations. I was just asking a question.
Oh.
Hypothetically. James, if you want to make some Molotov cocktails, go for it.
Magical Molotov cocktails.
Magical Molotov cocktails. Oof.
Can I make some pipe leaf that boosts my spell die?
Yes.
Ooh, yes. You can.
I'm doing that instead of the literal example.
Oh, no, wait, your spell die in general?
So there's one of the examples under preparations is a sniffing powder that temporarily boosts a practitioner's magical spell or path die.
Yeah. I will say yes to that. I will say, though, raising your spell die is a little more difficult, but it's just going to be to whatever you're trying to raise it to. So if you're trying to get it to that D8, it's a D8.
All right,
and
so...
I would
go ahead.
I would say that if you're trying to get it higher than a D8, I don't think you can, because you can only move it one up, is what I would say at this level.
Okay, so I would roll. So my imposition die would be a D8, but because I have 2 pips in preparations, I can reduce that to a D4.
Correct.
Okay. And I'm rolling my spell die, which is a D6,
Correct.
and my path die of folk, which is a D8.
Correct.
Cool. All right.
So what
That's
I'm hearing
good.
is you're bringing drugs to sniff on the road.
It's
Hell
nose,
yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Pipe leaf. So I got an 8 on my path die, a 5 on my spell die, and a 1 on my imposition.
Oh,
That is a full
You were
success.
You were so close to a wicked win.
I know.
So when it will hold for 2 days. When you light it and smoke it, it will raise your spell die. Because this is something you are smoking, I'm gonna say it will only be useful 1 time.
Okay.
But that will, and when you do raise it, it will stay raised until the witching hour, which is essentially the next day.
Got it. Cool.
So, if anyone else is doing anything, now is the time to speak. If not, we're going to cut to the 5 of you at the edge of town, waiting at the roadway.
Let's do it.
I just went home to grab all my stuff.
All right.
Michael.
And that is the dance that you do to lull the Bigfoot into a passive state. You take that back
Okay.
to your scout troop.
It's gonna be hard for me to draw the dance, but
It's okay.
No.
You can do it like a flip book. You know, you just draw one of me doing this on the bottom of this page, and then one of me doing this on the bottom of the next page, and so on and so forth. And then you just flip them, and then it makes you look like it's the little guy there's dancing.
I mean, we might need to talk to Peanut when we get back, because she's really good at drawing, so she might be able to render it better, but I'll write everything down as best I can.
I look forward to that conversation and seeing where this project goes. Oh, look, everybody else is here.
You guys were gone for a long time, but I smell cookies, so I'm good with it.
You want to go out into scary places of the world, you better be prepared.
Which means cookies.
I mean, it was a very long walk down here from New York, so I do understand it can be very scary out there.
Now, this
I mean-
cookie
You walk
is
down
not
here.
just for funsies, however. These cookies are for emergencies only. Times of
Wait a minute.
deep injury. Okay?
Wait a minute. There's a New York?
What happened
Yes.
to the old one?
It's
The York of York.
according
Oh.
to legend. According to legend, I'm assuming it must have fallen into the ocean at some point because it's like across the ocean.
Huh.
That's all I know
Wait.
about it.
You telling me you didn't make non-magical cookies that we could eat now?
Steve, can I say that I made a batch of regular while I was baking the magical cookies?
Yeah, that's fine.
Amazing.
You didn't even have to roll for non-magical stuff,
For some reason in
this
unless you
back
really
part
want
of
to.
town,
Oh, thank
you
you.
have to
I
double
grabbed
up
like
and-
one out the bag and keep passing it. I was like,
It's in a tin,
All right.
obviously,
oh, sorry.
with wax paper.
Obviously, the only way to store cookies.
Oddly enough, it's a tin of it says sewing supplies on the top, but it's full of cookies.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It only says that on the mask.
You can read
got stuck on there. It's not on there permanently. I just don't.
So are we going to Pigeon Forge just mouthful of cookie?
Well, I don't know that we'll make it quite that far. We're not exactly sure where, or are we exactly sure whereabouts the shipment
Yeah. Where did it
So-
go missing?
knocked off the road?
I would say
Yeah.
because of the trade to Pigeon Forge, it's not like a paved road, but there's definitely like the path that the cart
Road.
goes.
Yeah.
There's a road there, like it's been driven enough that you see the way to Pigeon Forge.
Steve,
Yes.
it hasn't rained since this wagon has gone missing, has it?
It doesn't smell like rain.
No.
Well, then I'm gonna
Smells like
I'm gonna
shit.
hunker down and start paying attention to these tracks because I'm good at tracking. I've got my
Oh.
badge for
I'm good
it.
at directions. We're going, and he has a map. We're great. We're great.
All right. All right. Skipper, why don't you roll a tracking to see if
Hey.
you can follow the tracks of the last shipment out?
Is that a
Okay.
mundane skill you have, sweetie?
Yes, it is. What is my imposition?
For this tracking, I'm gonna say, because this is a path typically traveled, it's a D6.
Okay. I have a D6 in tracking, so I think it's just 1v1, right?
No, you also have the human die, which is a D4.
Oh, right. Hey. Oh boy. Well, this is a road, so a lot of people have been on it. That's a 5 for my imposition and a 2 and a 1 for me.
Oof.
Everyone's been doing so good. This is what happens when you do bad at rolling.
So mark an experience for a failed roll. That's another thing.
Yay.
If you fail a roll completely, you mark experience, which at the end of the
Failful.
session, if there is experience, we will cover that. You all follow the scout. Skipper is leading you. I know tracking, blah, blah, blah. And you all follow. You notice that Skipper has taken you off the roadway.
Can I roll because I know directions?
Sure.
I don't think any
Hold
of
on,
us would
wait a
step
minute.
off
Map.
the path too readily.
I
Like, we
was
got
real
the
zoned
map.
out.
He's just
I'm gonna
back
be
there with
honest.
the cookie. He's
I'm
got the
just
cookie
real,
tin.
you know, sometimes you just get to staring and thinking and staring.
Thinking and staring.
In
And
that
what is
order.
my imposition?
I'm gonna say, because of the way that Skipper has taken you before you realized, wait a minute, it's a D8.
Okay, well I have 2 pips in directions, so I can take that down to a D4. Yeah, I
We
can
love
do
a
math. I know
D4, we love a
dice.
All right.
That is a 4, 4, and 4, which is a fail technically because we're playing exceed to be. How did I roll 3 and 4?
Hey,
Mark
see, it's
your
not s-
experience.
It's not so
Mhm.
easy to get around these dumb woods, huh?
It's
So-
really not.
So
No.
because of the random route that Skipper has taken you, you're trying to figure out where you are, and you're just like, I have no clue where we are. What? There's nothing. No,
All right.
There's no discernible landmarks. I guess we're going the right way.
Can I
um,
look at my old map and use my cartography skills to try and put us back on course?
Wow. Why did
I
we all
don't-
blindly follow this
Yeah.
teenager off the trail?
So
I have a
I would
question.
argue.
I have a hat.
So I would argue. We'll finish James first, then I'll go to you, Michael. I would argue that cartography is just the drawing of
the
maps,
making of the map.
the making of the map.
The fancy
But if you
drawing.
can convince me to let you roll, what's your
I think it's
argument
also
here?
I think it's also an understanding of the map and the fact that I drew the map, so I must have gone through these areas and can tell where we're supposed to be, but I know how to get back there because I drew the map.
I would like to argue that if you can't find the here's where you are on even a regular, hard to orient yourself.
Well,
Uh,
I would have to agree with James, if I may join the discussion, that being a cartographer means that either it means he at the very least has a very thorough understanding of how to read maps in order to create them, And if he's the one who made the map, then he's been through this territory before and is even more familiar with it than just having been there because he committed it to memory a different way.
All right, I'm gonna let it go this way. I'm gonna say because of the 2 failures to how turned around you guys are in the woods, I'm gonna let you roll it.
That's fair.
But it is a D10 now. And if anybody wants to try it after this, it's going to be a D12.
Oh no.
I know, how many aptitude do you have in cartography?
2.
2. So that would drop it to a D6. You can spend a stress to make it a D4 if you would like.
No, I have a D6. I have D6 in mental, so I'll push my luck here.
All right.
So D6
I also-
imposition,
Yeah.
D4 human, and D6 mental. Let's go. Haha! The imposition was 4, the mental roll was a 5, and the human die was a 2. But that's a success with consequences, right?
You said the mental die was a 6?
5. I got a 5 and a 4 on the imposition die.
Okay, then yes, that is going to be a success with consequences. So explain how you stop everyone from following the 19-year-old scout who doesn't live around here and get them to pay attention to you on the map, and then after you get everybody agreeing that we need to reroute, something is going to happen.
So Moses is, I think, tailing behind a little bit because he's studying the map, puffing on his pipe and going, "This isn't the right way. The spirits is guiding us astray. Hey, listen, everybody, we're going the wrong way."
Oh, I
Map here
figured that
says-
out ages ago. It just seemed fun to let him keep going and see how far he got.
How does that help us in any tangible way?
I didn't say it did.
All right. Well, I think we need to get back on the path, and that's going to be that way.
Well, I'm just
I
saying,
felt something was wrong,
why are
but-
there wagon cart wheels that have come down this hill if there wasn't a wagon that came this way at some point?
Now, I know you've got a real fancy hat, and I appreciate it. But I'll be a chicken's uncle if you can point to that ground and actually show me a wagon track.
Fair
Upon
enough.
closer inspection, I think a wagon-footed slug may have crawled through here.
Oh, right. It's always
Oh.
cryptid with this one. Every time, everything is some boogaboo.
So as Ace says, I think a wagon-footed snail, whatever he said,
Here it comes!
crept through here. You all hear a loud you.
Can we
I
smell
don't
anything?
like that wagon you're dragging.
So as the snap occurs, you start to smell something. It smells rotten and putrid.
Mm.
There be any way to make some sort of determination if we recognize the smell?
Yeah, have I smelled this smell before?
So if you want to make a general roll, like cryptids or mist or spirits, for information, you are allowed to make that roll. Whatever it is not in your view yet, so you can't see it. But if you would like to roll a cryptid roll, the imposition for this is going to be set to the imposition of the creature or the cryptid. That is going to be a D8.
Okay.
Okay, I have 2
So-
pips and cryptids.
Yes.
I was wondering if I could put forth my mundane skill of knowledge and local lore. And if there's any lore that mentions a cryptid, because lore's full of cryptid tales, mentions a specific smell attached.
We'll let you roll it. Michael, you can roll your cryptid, which is a D8. Meg, you can roll that local knowledge and lore. I will tell you that Cryptid will get you a lot more information than a lore roll, but you are welcome to make that roll.
And the
So
the pips take
Michael.
it down, right?
Yeah, so I have 2 pips in Cryptids.
that'll take it to a D4.
I only have one.
Sweet. I have a D6.
And we
And
only have a
then-
D4 in that. But I would be rolling a D4 as a human die too, so.
Correct.
Michael, if you don't do good, I got a 6 and a 2 on cryptid because I also have quite a bit in cryptids.
That's all right. My imposition was set to a 3, and I rolled a 6 and a 3.
Okay.
So
I'll let the
9.
cryptid master take over.
Well-
That's
Oh,
not
you
how
don't
it
add
works,
'em.
babe.
You don't add them.
Oh,
So
6.
the imposition die, what was it? What did you roll on that?
3.
3. Okay, what was your path die?
6.
And what was your spell die?
3.
That would be a success with consequence.
Perfect.
So, once again,
His favorite kind.
how it works: you roll your spell die, you roll your path die against the imposition. Both dice have to exceed the imposition to succeed. One of them has to exceed to get a partial success or a success with consequence. If both are below, as your Meg, did you end up rolling yours or?
I haven't. I was gonna see what he could come up with first.
Okay. As you're rolling through your Rolodex of information, the smell that you're smelling 100% is coming from a not deer.
Oh.
But the consequence is this thing bursts out of the brush beside you
Oh no.
and hits you with its antlers.
Oh no.
It is
Ouch.
now attacking you. We are going to go into a scene of combat. You are going to take a minor wound from it hitting you.
That me?
Yes. Because it was your consequence. In the character sheet, you'll see that there's damage boxes. The first 3 boxes are minor wounds. The second 2 boxes are medium wounds. The final box is a major wound. If all of your boxes are filled and you take another source of damage, your character dies. So healing is kind of important. Also, if
Oh, but
you
you do
fill up any level, like so say you fill all 3 of those in the first one, essentially the monster gets a constant imposition on you, meaning you have to spend 2 aptitude to lower it that first one.
Oh, you become disadvantaged in a way.
Yes, so this game can ramp rather quickly. The only way to bypass that is to spend stress.
But also with too much stress that you can gain imposition as well.
So, a creature that looks like a deer has come out of a brush and its antlers have just slammed in to Ace, knocking him back. Looking at this deer, it just doesn't look right. The eyes, instead of being on the side of the head, are forward facing. The antlers have a weird crookedness to them. The legs are bent backwards, and you can see like tufts of its fur fallen off.
I want to immediately attack it.
Okay, what are you doing?
So do you think that, totally fine if you cannot answer this question, would like crypt magic or hex magic, do we have an idea, or does even Ace, since he kind of figured out what it was, would he know?
I will say that death magic tends to affect most things.
Okay.
Most things are going to be affected by death magic. Cryptid is more trying to deter it, distract it. If it wasn't hostile, you might be able to conversate with it. Things of that nature. Specifically, let me find it exactly. Interacting or having knowledge of the cryptids is the aspect of cryptids. So anything you do to interact with them, but if you want to deal direct damage, instant physical harm is death magic. The only thing that wouldn't be as effective on is spirits or like things of the mist.
Got you. I would like to do that.
All right. Well, what type of spell are you casting? What's it look like?
Archie just kind of like immediately like sticks his hand out, and from like each finger is like this green glowy magic, and it all just like comes to a point and is directed at the not deer.
Okay, is that like blasting out as a stab, or is it just a burst of energy?
It's more like a burst of energy, but you guys can kind of see it forming in a way.
Okay.
Like the Death Star laser.
Yeah. So the imposition for this is going to be a D8 because that is the imposition of the not deer.
Okay, cool. I have 2 pips in death magic, so I can take that down to a D4. I have a D8 in hex, and then my D6 for my spell die. That is a 7 and a 2 against a 1. Yes.
All right, that is a full success.
Yay!
You see this energy form into a point, blast forward, hit the not deer. As it knocks back a little bit, you see its head twist completely upside down. That is K is done. Initiative is really everybody goes, and then everybody goes again. The monster really doesn't get a turn. It just reacts to failures and consequences more so. So whoever wants to go next, describe what you're doing, what type of thing you want, and we'll go there. Go ahead, Meg.
Can I cast a protection spell to turn the not deer's antlers into feather pillows?
Interesting take.
Thank you.
So I would say that would not be protection. Protection is creating like a barrier that protects you from physical attacks.
So cover them in toll noodles.
It could be a spell that adds feather pillows to us.
Or to the antlers. I was thinking surround the antlers, like wrap them up with bubble wrap.
So once again, I think that would be creation, because you are creating specifically simulacrum. You are creating something to make the attack from the deer's horns less hard. Protection, once again, it doesn't really create like something that will protect everyone. That would be more of a warding to stop things from coming through. Protection is kind of an individual making it harder for something to hit them. It would protect them from a source of damage or something like that.
Okay, but you say warding could create a protection for all that could potentially help all of us?
Yes. So warding is like stopping a spirit or cryptid from entering a specific area, or like preventing them. So it'd be like putting a wall between you and the creature. Yeah. Granted, that will eventually deteriorate after a hit or two, so it will not last long, but it is a way to like ward yourselves to buy you say if you were really hurt,
Yeah.
it could buy you a turn or two to eat some cookies or whatever.
Okay.
You could cast protection on Ace though from a physical blow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do that so he doesn't get more hurt.
Okay. Once again,
Ace
this
is
is
now covered in bubble wrap.
everything imposition wise for this encounter is going to be a D8 unless you want to do something really crazy. But so it'll be the imposition is a D8.
I only have a D4 in Hex. But I do have a pip in protection.
Well, okay, that would lower the
you-
imposition.
No.
No.
I would like to help us as best we can by pulling out of my bag the holy figures of old. So I pull out a bunch of like really horny anime figures, and I'm gonna use simulacrum, which I think should make like a little like Gollum-y type thing, right?
Okay, so
Every
you're creating like an anime figure to try to fight the cryptid.
Fight the deer. Yeah, I was gonna calm it down, but it's already been punched in the face a bunch. I don't think it's gonna like accept me trying to calm it, even though I'm way better at that.
All right. Let's hold off on that till Meg's done, and then we'll jump
Oh,
to
sorry, I
you
thought
doing
Mike
that.
was done.
No, she hasn't
Um,
rolled yet.
So
Sorry.
I have a partial success. My imposition was set at 3, and I got a 1 on my path die and a 4 on my spell die.
All right. You are able to put up a thing of protection on Ace. You see like this shimmer come over him. Or if you have a better description of what your protection magic looks like.
That's fine. That works.
However, the consequence from this is as you cast that magical barrier, the knot deer's head spins the whole way around to where it's back looking normal, and this green like smoke just comes out of it and encompasses you. Take a minor wound. Damage do you want that simulacrum to do? Because I feel like creating an anime figure, I'm trying to think of the imposition for this.
Mean.
Blunt damage.
That's fair. Psychic damage. I don't know. Could it be
not
like a
here.
curse or someone who would hook you up?
I may or may not be designing characters for body pillows.
So it'll be a simulacrum roll. It's just
It does not matter because I have I tried to roll it, and it has already failed.
oh, you already rolled.
Yep. Well, I think it's a failure. I rolled a 6 on my imposition because I'm really good at rolling on my imposition for some reason. It's just been straight 6s, and then I got a 3 and a 7.
No, that's a success with consequence.
Yay, consequences! I always forget which was which.
So you do summon this. Describe what the anime figure looks like that you summoned.
It's a maid, but she's gotten she's been trying to mop, but somehow the broom has gotten up under her clothes, and she's trying to pull the broom away from her, and it's ripping all of her clothes off. But she's not actually. It's very tasteful in that it's not actually. You don't see anything.
Okay.
Just Google. Don't Google broom pose. I was going to say just Google broom pose. Don't Google broom pose.
Don't Google that.
Okay.
Don't Google it.
And
I
so
don't want it on a watch list.
is it fighting the cryptid or?
Distracting it.
I feel like it's trying to smack it around. I feel like just its
She
presence is
accidentally
harming.
whacks it with the mop handle as she's
Yeah, just
wrestling with it.
Okay, I'm gonna say that it is gonna lower the imposition of the knot deer to a D6 because this thing is just like interrupting it. However, The consequence of this is that the not deer is going to let out this ear-piercing shriek. Specifically Skipper, since it is like a sonic scream directed at you, you're gonna take a minor wound from it.
Okay.
I believe that leaves Michael and James, Ace and Moses, who have not done anything yet.
I figured I got knocked down, so I was gonna just fall down for a second, and everybody else could go in ham.
Moses doesn't really know what to do with cryptids. He's not about that life. So,
It's on me then.
He's gonna use his skill in fisticuffs to just try and punch the deer.
It sounds like a great idea.
Can we do combos?
What do you mean?
Well, if he wants to go in and punch the deer, and I have 2 pips in animal wrangling, I'm wondering if I can tackle it and he can punch it.
I do have a mundane skill in kickboxing, if I could be of service.
So the problem is you're using mundane skills on a cryptid is gonna make the imposition higher, but you can do it. It's just
the imposition has been lowered by my horny maid. So
this is not a deer. Remember, it's a not deer, not a deer.
So
it's in the name.
The maid lowered the imposition, but if the maid wasn't there to do mundane stuff to the not deer, would be a D10. So it will just be back to a D8 because of the maid distracting it.
Gotcha. Well, good news.
You can use mundane stuff, but you guys have magic.
I know.
But if you want to fisticuff it, do it.
I have 2
Roll
pips
it.
I have 2 pips in fisticuffs, so that makes it a D4 in position die, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
All right. Do it to it.
Okay. I have a 4, a 1, and then the imposition die was a 3, so a success with consequences.
We're just chock full of those tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so describe how you fisticuffs this deer. This not deer.
Not deer. It's not even a deer.
It's just called not a deer.
Moses
Not
takes
deer.
takes out his pipe, just goes and just spits on the ground.
All right, so you do land this punch, and the not deer's head kind of goes. However, because the imposition, even though it's been modified, is initially a D10, you're gonna take a medium wound of a sprained wrist as a consequence.
That's a good one.
That's fair.
As this thing is sturdier than any deer you've ever punched.
How
Maybe
all of
our-
y'all
Maybe
already
our
hurt.
little scout friend has an ace bandage in their backpack.
All right, that would leave Ace. What do you do?
I would like to use my warding ability to whip out a burn bundle to burn some incense to put some protection up all around us.
All right, so you want to ward all of you from the not deer. Once again, this is going to be a D6.
And I have 2 pips in warding.
Oh, so you get advantage.
Oh, yeah. So what happens with this, with pips? If you drop the imposition to a D4 and you would drop it lower, you would roll 2 D4s on the imposition and take the lower.
Oh, okay.
So
That's cool.
That is cool. So I'm going to do that first. 2.
That's a good imposition.
And I rolled double
Strong
fours.
imposition roll.
Oh no!
Yay! What?
Not the double fours.
Double fours.
Incredible.
So, the imposition was a 2, and then you got a 4 and a 4.
That's good news.
All right, that is a full success.
I was so
so
confused
I
why you were
misunderstood.
sad.
Yeah, I thought you rolled double fours on your imposition.
No.
No.
Double fours on no. Oh, you scared the shit out of me.
So, explain the burning of the sage that you were doing, and what does this ward that surrounds all of you look like?
Healing.
Acadia-
Like,
Acadia, I mean, I don't think it can heal, can it? That's got to
No.
be healing. I have that. I could do that in my next turn, but this is just because we are all getting hit, and I wanted to cushion that. So he pulls out this, it's like a bundle that's on a string, actually, and when he lights it, he spins it around, and he chants a little bit. This is old folk magic that his grandpappy taught him, and the smoke, clings and spreads, and as it envelops everybody, it just kind of gives them some cushion.
Okay. At this point, the not deer cannot approach all of you. And that is where the turn is going to stop. But it is going to use one of its threat to attack the warding. You see the warding that you've put up start to quiver as it... This thing looks not happy. At this point, you see the skin from its skull start to fade as there are just 2 red eyes and a pure white skull with the horns kind of now twisting and turning on its head.
That don't seem good.
Cute.
No.
So, you all have a round before it will use another threat and bring down this ward. So, you can prepare. The problem with warding, though, is that none of your spells are going to make it out of the warding. If you attack the warding, you will break it. So,
Okay, who is the most hurt?
that would
Moses, how
be
much is
Moses.
Yeah, it would be.
Moses, how many do you have?
I took a
One
medium
wound.
Okay, I can't do nothing about that. Ace, how many, or Archie, how many do you have?
None. I'm the only person not hurt.
Oh yeah, Ida, how many do you have? You've got 2, right?
No, just one minor wound.
One biter. Ace, you have one biter.
One minor, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna rub my hands together, get my turn out of the way right up top. Rush over to you guys and touch you on the arm, and you are healed via my strong belief in the tenets of the power of the scouts. Via my ability, which is called Healing Hands, which for 3 stress, I could heal 3 minor wounds on a touch. Does not require any roll, but I do have 3 stress now.
Oh boy, that was a lot.
Yes.
But thank you.
But also no more wounds.
Well, for them.
I mean,
You
everybody
eat
can
2/3
use
of your
healing
cookie.
magic.
I know, but now there's no more wounds. If shit gets
Well-
weird later on.
This isn't weird enough.
All right, so that
No.
was Neassa. Skipper. Who's next?
Well, my plan was to throw up a second ward, but I don't know that we need time. That was before I was sure about being able to attack through the wards, and there's no such thing as like a parapet or anything.
Nope.
I could use some healing magic on old Moses.
Yeah, I was gonna throw
old Mr.
protection on
Grimsley.
him, but I don't have healing. So if you want to see if you can heal him,
Yeah, I got 2 pips in healing.
I do too.
2 more than I got.
So how does that work with wounds exactly?
So, because he has a medium wound, in order to heal that, you're gonna need it's a D8 imposition.
Which
If he
would
had
be
2
9
medium wounds, it would be a D10,
Okay.
and a major wound is a D12.
And my healing pips reduce that.
Yes.
Okay,
So it'd be a D8 right now.
okay. So I have 2 healing pips, so I will.
That
I'll
would
grab-
drop it to a D4.
I'll grab Moses and smear a poultice on his wrist.
Okay.
made out
Roll
of-
your.
It's made out of arnica and chicken spit.
All right. Roll your check.
The usual remedy.
Ha! That is a 1 on the imposition, 4 and a 6.
Is that a wicked win?
I was like, is that a wicked win?
win?
Wait, what
What's
all
your
dice
die?
did you roll?
2d6 and a d4.
Oh,
No.
Oh no. Okay.
Almost.
You'd have had to get a 6 on both of the D6s.
Oh, I see.
Um,
I see.
So as you put that poultice on his wrist, Moses, you just feel your wrist no longer in pain.
Woohoo! Go
Mighty
team.
kind of you.
All right, so that was Skipper went, Ace went. We've got Moses, Archie, and Ida to go yet.
All right, y'all heard it.
I mean,
Or
I
something.
I can ready
Poison
my-
it.
myself to attack it, I guess, as soon as the ward comes down.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Is that a thing in this system? Readying an action?
So I don't know. I've never seen anybody kind of do that before.
Can I make a
I'm gonna
cryptid roll to see if there's anything like else, any like weaknesses or ways that I might be able to get the drop on it, since we have a second before it comes through.
Sure. Go ahead, roll a cryptid roll.
And so this imposition die is a D8, right? For all the
Yep.
things. I have 1
Yep.
pip in cryptids, so that brings
Okay,
it down
that'll-
to a D6.
Yep.
This is not gonna go well, you guys.
It's fine.
Well, I take that back.
Jeffrey just said I Googled it. I think that's in response to Nessa's broom thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
No. Hey, we warned you. We
What
warned
did you
Hey,
get
well-
on that, Meg?
So I did actually luck out with the imposition die at a 1, and my path die is at a 2, and my spell die is at a 3.
Yay!
All right.
Just barely.
Just barely. Good
So-
enough.
But
So-
full success.
You have a full success. Not deer. I'm trying to think of like what would be a good weakness for them.
I mean, probably being set on fire or something, because most things are pretty weak to being set on fire.
So not deer. Give me 1 second while I look at my notes.
There's
'Cause
not
I
like
did
some kind of thing on its body that suddenly pulses.
Target.
You're just like looking through a book, and it's like, this thing is really weak to having its neck broken.
Kick it in its giant,
No.
not deer balls.
For sure, fire does seem to be more effective against it.
Okay.
I told you to make those fucking balls.
However,
jackass.
Meg, when you did your first roll earlier for preparations, I banked a consequence.
You did.
The
Oh, yes.
warding goes down. That is the consequence I am using now.
Okay, then I'm just gonna shout, burn it!
I believe that is Moses and Archie are the only 2 left.
Who's got creation magic? Make some fire.
Death
assuming-
magic will do as well.
Also
You
that-
I was
can
about to
use-
say, I'm just gonna hit it with more death magic.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
that's all
assuming
I'm
all of us have chicken shine with us. I definitely do.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I also definitely do.
Okay, I'm
Campaign
just
of
saying.
water? I don't think so.
No, fuck that.
All right. This is gonna be a D6 because that maid is still distracting it.
Okay.
Oh wait, then why?
I was
So
gonna
that
Google
means
I was gonna Google that. And then I
Because you
remembered
weren't
that-
attacking it, you were seeking
Finding it.
information.
Got it.
I was gonna Google that maid so I could get her name.
The Stampede image instead.
I googled that one on my phone with the Wi-Fi turned off. They're not gonna get me on this one.
okay. So I had advantage on my D4, so I got a 2 on my imposition against a 3 and a 6.
All right. Describe how you blast this thing with fire.
So it's kind of the same as my like burst of energy, except now the more it turns into like what you guys perceive as a fireball, and then I can just like focus all of it instead of like throwing it. I just kind of push it outward of my body instead of like a direct thrown projectile.
This
Couldn't think of the word.
slams into the deer. You notice that like tufts of it start to catch on fire. It starts writhing around and like stiff, and like there's solidness to it. Not this thing. It's like curling into a ball, elongating.
No bones.
Essentially, it does not look like it has bones, but it definitely has a clear bone skull. That would leave Moses.
Is there any reason to believe that there's some spirit infected?
You don't know.
Okay.
You would have no clue.
Try and cleanse it. Just like remove any evil spirits that might be residing within the deer.
Okay.
All
Like
right.
intestinal worms, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So
Of the metaphysical type.
I'm gonna let you try a cleansing. The imposition for that
promising.
is gonna be the D6 still.
Okay. I have 2 pips in cleansing, so that would actually give me advantage, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So
I
you roll
D4
2 d4s, take the lower.
Do that first. So my imposition's gonna be a 1. It's got a 1 on both.
Woo!
All right.
Heck yeah.
So D8 for Folk, and then a D6 for my spell die, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Dang. That was an 8 on the spell die, and on the Folk die, but a 1 on the spell die. So.
So
success
that
and
is a
consequences.
success with consequences.
Yeah.
So you cast. What does this cleansing look like?
Moses calls upon his kinfolk and says, "Help me drive the evil demons out of this here deerman." And he just places his hands over it, like just kind of above the deer, not deer, and doesn't pray. But it's like it would be
I
a
was
prayer.
gonna say, why don't you just splash some holy water at it?
That's what I used to do
so-
chicken
Or some chicken shine.
Or some
I'm
chicken
gonna
shine. Take the relic, the holy relic, and toss your chicken shine in that direction.
So as you cast this cleansing, it stops writhing around. It becomes more solid, like what a deer should look like. The horns go back, the face goes back to normal, the legs go back to normal. This thing kind of stands up on its hind legs and starts coughing. As you see this black ichor start to fall out of its mouth and cascade onto the smoke or mist coming off of it.
Uh-oh.
As rising up from that black ichor is just this the best way to describe it is like something that looks like the Grim Reaper cloak, but there's no physical to it. The consequence here is that you expelled the spirit from the deer, but it did not leave. Yeah, and that is going to be round. I think everyone went. It is going to use another one of its. What's up?
Usually, and we didn't discuss this with you beforehand.
Yeah.
About an hour in, we take a bathroom break.
Oh, that's
just
cool.
A rest break, a snack, drink, pee break.
Yes.
But where would you say we are percentage-wise for this session? Is it close enough that we should just power through, or should we stop and take a 10-minute break?
We can stop and take a 10-minute break. How long do these sessions go?
Typically, we try to keep it around 2 hours.
Okay. Then yeah, let's take a potty break.
Okay.
Don't go nowhere.
We'll be back
Be
in
right back.
10.
Welcome back, y'all. We are about to see the horror that Moses has unleashed from within the Not Deer. So, before the players begin their rounds again, the oily spectral version of the Not Deer is stronger. Its
Of course.
base imposition is a D10.
Gross.
Fucking.
The maid is going to keep that down to a D8. It is going to spend another one of its threat as it looks directly at Moses. That threat that it is imposing on you is going to raise the imposition only for you by 1 die level. So it is technically a D12 for you that is lowered to a D10, as it is very unhappy that someone has removed it from its husk.
Out of
And there's
curiosity-
just a
Oh,
dead
sorry.
rotting deer beside it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the deer carcass still on fire?
Probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Sick.
It's like smoldering and it's decaying and it smells even worse
Awful.
with this thing out of it.
So bad.
Sick.
So, you all go. It is players again. What do you do?
So the preparation thing that we did earlier. So like when we've got items that we can use, is it just like free to use them?
In a sense,
So
like,
like if I wanted to use my pipe leaf that I made now, could I just do that and then like also cast a spell, or do I need to take a turn to? smoke it?
I imagine if your pipe is already going, which I assume it already is, you're just gonna pop that in real quick and just, and then you
Counts
can
for
cast a
Moses, but
spell.
not for the rest of us, because
Yeah.
the rest of us don't have a pipe in our mouth 24/7.
Yeah,
But you do.
and
have
it was only for
tea.
his.
Yeah.
But the tea, I think that would take probably a turn because you're passing it. Where him, he's just pulling
Sure.
it out, pop.
Yeah, but
And then he
what
can
if
cast the
I
spell.
just drank it myself?
That'd be
out
the
of my
same. You could
thermos?
and done. Yeah. I'm saying if you're gonna get it from someone else, that's
Yeah.
gonna take your turn.
That's a
If
good
it's
line.
something on you and it makes sense, like I assume your thermos is hanging on your hip. The pipe is already in your mouth. Now, if it was something in your bag that you wouldn't have
Yeah.
readily, we would play that by ear. But I would say with these two items, you have them readily available. So,
Well, I just went, so I'm not gonna go right again. I'll let somebody else go. But I just wanted that clarification.
okay. One of you may go.
All right, I'll go. Uh,
I don't have.
All right, I'll go.
I
I'm
didn't
gonna-
build this kind of character.
I'm gonna puff, not pass, and raise my spell die up to a D8.
Correct.
Okay. And so I'm gonna try cleansing this thing again. And be like, I have oil.
Is there any kind
All right.
of assist or help action in the system?
So, yes, you may. So, if you want to assist, it will use your action for this turn. How the help works. If you try to assist him, you need to have aptitude equal to what he is trying to do. And then
Okay.
you can give him one additional aptitude. If you don't have equal aptitude, as long as you have one aptitude, you can spend a stress to give him that +1.
Got it. I don't have
Does
any
anyone have-
ticks in cleansing, so never mind, James. Sorry.
That's okay. I appreciate
Alright.
the thought.
So
Alright,
it
so
is
It's
a D10.
It was reduced to a D8 by the maid, but back up to a D10 because of the threat.
Yes.
Okay. And so the 2 pips in cleansing will take that down to a D6.
Correct.
I mean, if you guys want, I could get another maid going.
You
Because
get
you're
her going.
concentrating, if you
Oh.
were to try to bring out another one, your imposition is going to go up.
Damn.
Okay. So we've got 2 D8s and then a D6 for imposition. Oh no. Oh no.
Great.
Well,
That
that's a
sounds good.
D5. That's a 5 on imposition in my
Oh,
2
boy.
dice for a 3 and a 1.
Oh,
Okay.
Experience!
Yeah,
Experience!
Gaining experience, that is important. So you say your thing, and you just see like this oily mass. You just see like if someone were to draw a smiley face in the mud
Oh, no.
appear in this, and it just lunges forward as its oily hands just grab you, and you start to feel this cold, spectral, oily chill all over you. Because this is a D10 cryptid, that is going to be a medium wound
Oh, no.
on you
That really
again.
worked.
And it is very much threatening you. Who is going to go next?
Is there some
Um,
way that I could put warding magic on Moses now to get it off of him?
I would say you can try, but the imposition is going to be higher
Okay.
because of it's going to be that D10 because it's going to raise it up by 1 because it is literally on him.
Right. And I
So-
still have a 2 in warding, so it'll drop it to a D6.
Correct.
Okay. So it's just 3 D6s. What's the worst that could happen?
And I'm
Who's to
sorry,
say?
you're doing warding because I can that I can help with. How many pips do you have? You have 2 in warding, right?
Yes.
And I also have 2. So can I give him 1?
Yes, if you want to help him, like I said, that'll take your action this round, but it will give him 1 additional aptitude, so you could lower that to a D4.
What do you think, Michael? Is it worth it?
I mean, do you have a strong feeling about what your plan, what your character is going to do next?
No, I mean I can heal him, I suppose. I was also thinking. I was also before he got grabbed was thinking along the lines of trying to ward the thing in long enough for us to run, but
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
what I was
that.
thinking before he got grabbed.
Yeah, but now he's grabbed.
Yeah.
But now
I'm just trying to
he's
get it off.
grabbed. Put it on my tombstone.
So
Before he
have
got
how do you feel strongly about it?
Yeah.
If not, then I'll take it.
All right. Well, he took a medium wound, so I guess let me save myself for healing him. Hopefully, you'll succeed and get the thing off him, and then I can heal him.
Okay. Whoop, imposition die is a 1.
Yay!
Okay.
And that's 2 6s, motherfuckers!
All right.
Wow.
That is a wicked
Wicked
win.
win.
You rolled 2d or three, all d6s, right?
Yes.
So with this wicked win, you ward him. What does the magic look like?
So I'm gonna say that it's all out of like incense smoke, basically, where he kind of takes this like puff of it and throws it, and when it hits Moses, it kind of engulfs him.
So with that, you see this smoke engulf Moses, and it bursts out, and this black, oily substance just dissipates.
Woo!
Gone. It is
Inside
no longer
him.
there.
Okay.
Inside him, Moses.
Are you infected?
Do you need to throw up? Hold on, here, Moses. Take a drag on this chicken shine.
I'm fine.
Take
I
a
do not
drag
have
on the
demon inside me.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not possessed?
If anyone would know,
Well, where'd it go?
into the ether.
Maybe you banished it.
I don't know how to do that.
You want me to try to heal you up, Moses?
Maybe you got
squirrel.
scared.
Blind squirrel finds an acorn every once in a while.
Maybe you just scared him.
I know for a fact that flying squirrels find acorns pretty much most of the time.
Blind,
No,
blind squirrel.
Blind, not flying.
Oh, I was gonna say. I'm about to say your knowledge of squirrel behavior is
Abysmal.
depressingly lacking.
Either way, I feel like we should start moving away from here.
I don't
Sounds
disagree,
like
but
a
are
good
we
idea.
sure? Okay.
I have got us back on the right track. We did, however, encounter an evil spirit, but we're heading
It's
in the right
fine.
direction.
You're
what
not.
we lacked in not being attacked by a horrible creature, we gained in I got some great notes on some of the local creatures.
And
Because
you didn't-
apparently a knot deer has some kind of spirit inside of it, which I don't think anyone had written down before.
Yeah, I certainly ain't heard that one before, but then again,
No.
I never had nobody try to perform an insta exorcism on a knot deer on any of my outings.
Now,
We
See,
also don't
don't
take
have-
many notes.
we don't have nearly enough field evidence to support the theory that every not deer has a spirit in it.
Let me tell you
Well,
something.
I know it's hearsay, but I'll write it down and then maybe someone else will experience it and then we can make it a proper claim.
We don't
Yeah.
note take that often.
Everything's got spirits in it.
I don't know, man. I'm willing to bet that some of the knot deer are atheists.
Okay. One man
Well,
says deer
as I
are
understand it,
atheists.
I'd say
They're
like a
long
good
night
50% of
agnostics,
creatures
really.
have spirits.
I imagine
Alright.
we're walking and
Yeah,
talking.
I assumed you're all walking and talking.
Not deer at all.
That's the scene in my head.
A lot
Yeah.
of the not deer have taken Pascal's wager. And,
Old Pascal up with the chicken flat?
That's the
not
one.
that.
That's the one.
No, he's dead.
Oh,
Oh, right. He feeds the chickens now, doesn't he?
Literally.
Yeah.
I hope not. He died of avian flu.
Sent by
Well,
the chicken,
Dude, this
consumed by the chicken.
So as you are all debating whether or not deer are atheists or spirits or they cryptid, what are these things? You do manage to get back on the road,
Beautiful.
and you go a piece down the road a piece, and you come upon wreckage.
Is
It is
wagon?
clearly a wagon that has been ripped apart. The wheels are broken. And there are definitely two bodies laying there.
Oh. Well,
I would
let's
like-
ID these bodies.
I
Are
would
there
like to
any-
use. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna take a look and see if there's any bite marks or claw marks on the wagon.
Yeah, I was gonna. If I wanted to ask about my natural tracker like tracking animals specifically. If I could use that to try to determine if what kind of bite marks or what kind of tracks might be at the scene.
Yeah, go ahead and roll natural tracker. So I'm gonna let you set your imposition here. Depending upon what imposition you set is the imposition or is the information I'm gonna give you that you find. So if you want to ensure you get every possible bit of tracking information, you can make it a D12. You go with a D4, you're going to succeed, but you're not going to get hardly any information. So it's entirely up to you to set your own imposition on this.
D8.
I'm gonna say D8.
Hedge your bets.
Yeah, and I have 2 pips there, so that's probably the. So what do I roll? What die do I roll for this one?
So it's a mental, right?
Right.
So what is your mental die?
It's D6.
Right. The human die is a D4, and then if you have 2 pips, your imposition of a D8 will drop to a D4.
Okay, cool deal. That's what I thought. I just wanted to hear you say it. I'm gonna roll the imposition first. That's a 2. And a 3 and a 4.
All right.
Jeff says D12
Jeffrey.
and spin stress.
Jeffrey, quit trying to make him spend stress. They'll spend stress eventually. Trust me.
We're on
That's
episode
Don't worry.
1.
Yeah, I already spent 3, and granted, I do think I skipped my position for one of them, but I just haven't really rolled since, so we haven't seen the consequences yet.
Oh
Also,
yeah, because when
I
you
will-
fill up,
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, when you fill up the first 3 stress, you get an imposition raise. So, anyway, you succeed on your roll. With this, there are no tracks that you can find around the cart other than like the people that are laying there, which are dead. The cart has been ripped apart. Something had has ripped the top out, ripped one of them out. You see blood, viscera everywhere. The part that is most upsetting to you is that all the chicken shine has been smashed.
None of a biscuit eater.
Rude.
Due to the imposition that you rolled, you are clear that something attacked but did not leave footprints. So it flew in,
Yeah.
is
so I was
what
gonna
you
say.
would assume.
Yeah, that's what that. There's flying boogabutts. Excuse me, cryptids.
Anywho, so that is what you are finding out. While he is looking around the wreckage, what are the rest of you doing? Meg, you said you were looking at them for like bite marks and stuff like that, correct?
Bite marks, claw marks, anything like that.
The thing you notice is that the 2 bodies are very shriveled. It's like they almost look mummified with how shriveled up they are. And there are distinct bite marks on their neck.
On their neck.
Yes.
Do they seem intact otherwise? No internal organs have been removed and or eaten?
It does not appear so. You would have to cut them open to find out. But there is like no cuts or rips or anything.
Okay.
Can
Man.
I
Go ahead.
roll cryptid to see if I can tell what kind of creature, like
Does
if
that?
a cryptid is the responsible for like the bite marks and what kind, if I can tell?
I would like
You
to
may. Yeah, you can do that. What is your cryptid aptitude?
2.
All right, and Michael has a 2. Once again, I'm gonna let you set your own imposition on this. You can determine. If you don't go high enough, you might not figure out what it is. So it's entirely up to you what you want this imposition to be.
got 3 pips. You could bring it down from a D12 to a D6.
Yeah.
And you
pretty
could spend a
far.
stress to get it to a D4.
You could.
I could-
Make Mr.
I could-
Baker
I
happy.
feel like we
I
should
could-
try to do something to make
Yeah.
our
I could help
Yeah,
you
let's
too.
happy.
let's fucking do it.
Let's do
Let's spend the
it.
stress. So I'm
Oh,
taking that down to a D4, and I am my crypt die is a D6, and as well as my spell die. So we're rolling a D4 against 2 D6s. So let's hope we can get something out of this.
Mm,
Yes. Okay. So that's a 6 and a 2 against a 1.
All right. So you are thinking through all the knowledge you know of known cryptids, things. There are only 2 creatures that could do this. That is a chupacabra or a vampire.
That's why I asked about the internal organ situation.
You know, I don't want us to keep sleeping on the theory that Mosquito Man might be out there somewhere. Okay? I'm not willing to put that to bed. 'cause
Wouldn't that be a single marking piercing rather than 2? Don't vampires tend to leave 2?
Typically, I mean, yeah.
Tongue thing.
You know, could be. There's a lot of questions that we still need to answer clearly here.
Of course,
I
of
hate
course.
to burst your dreams of man-sized proboscis, but I don't think it's the Mosquito Man this time.
And
We
I
do love
think-
him.
I still believe.
And I think
believe.
with that, it's a good place to stop for the first session.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
We established the first boogabut. Vampires.
So- Before we end, anyone who got experience, I don't think anybody got more than 1.
I'm about to say, I think someone I thought did, but yeah.
Okay.
I just got the
So-
one.
In
One.
order to spend experience, there are several options you can do. Number 1, you have the ability to spend experience to create story moments or story points. Say you want a bucket to be conveniently placed. You can spend experience and that bucket is there.
Yes, story bucket.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Or you can use it to raise your aptitude and your path dies. Now, the way you do that, say you have a D4 and a path die. If you want that to go to a D6, it costs you 2 experience. If you want one of your aptitude to go, if you want it to be 1 pip, it is 1 experience. If you want it to be 2 pips, it would be the first pip and the second pip. But the first one will always cost 1. The second pip will cost you 2. So you would need 3 to get it to 2. But the path die is what is important. When you level up a path die, say from the D4 to the D6, you mark it. When you raise 3 path die up by 1, your spell die goes up. That is considered leveling up.
Okay.
But you can spend them off screen if you want. If you want to wait and build up a little bit more, save them for story beats, that is up to you. But this has been The Crypt is Open, session 1 of 6. You got to fight a knot deer and various other things occurred. Looking forward to 2 weeks from now when we will continue again. If you are interested in this system, you can find it in the When Suddenly Games itch.io. In its current form, it is free. Eventually, Jeffrey is going to put it on Kickstarter or some kind of crowdfunding, and I will let everyone know when that is. But anyway, thank you, Maggie, Neassa, James, Kay, Michael. It's been a great time. And track.
Not quite. We
Where's
don't
that
end the
rain?
track until we get to the end of the game. the 6 episodes.
Ah.
That would make sense, though, right? With each song title would be more
Oh
like
yeah,
each
because you
episode.
have tracks
Mm.
on
Yeah.
the tracks on a record.
Well, the link to the itch.io that Dragon X mentioned is in the description for this video, as well as some credits that I'm going to read to you right now. The Crypt Has Opened was designed and written by Jeffrey N. Baker, edited by Jacky, Leung, CL Pieretti, and Binarystar Games. Design consultant Khampheng, Sikkema. Sensitivity reading by Jeanette, Esparza, Theta, Chun, and Samuel Marlowe. We're very excited to showcase this game for you. You should grab it while it's free.
It's super cool.
And
It's
don't
very
forget
fun.
that this Saturday we have our anniversary stream. We've been a thing for a whole year now. So we're gonna celebrate by kicking off a new Essential series called Champions Arena. We have a few whatchamacallit, gladiators that contestants are gonna be going up against for a chance to become a champion. So it's gonna be a good time. Maybe if I have some time, I'll even put together some like best of clips from throughout this past year of streaming. That's at 1 o'clock this Saturday afternoon, the 17th, right here on YouTube.
That's right. Don't miss it.
Until then, anybody got anything else?
No. Good night.
Well,
No.
thank you guys so much. We'll see you back here on Saturday. Never stop playing. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.